Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our Plant of the Week podcast, brought to you by Bonide Products, family made in America. Visit Bonide.com to find a retailer near you. Each week, Plant Talk Radio's Fred Hauer focuses on a plant that would be a great addition to your landscape. Now for this week's Bonide Products Plant of the Week. And, of course, you were always tempted to have a second plant of the week, and you included another plant.
I did, and it is spectacular right now. The standard one, first of all, it is a Japanese tree lilac. I have mentioned it a number of times in the past. I happen to have one. Mine is an alternate bearing. In other words, it flowered very heavily last year, not so heavy this year. It's great big white plumy flowers, dark green leaves, a tree that can get up to 12 or so inches in diameter in due time. It's tall enough that you can limit up for street use, and at the same time, it's not so big, but what it'll fit into most landscapes.
Okay, now I always get the two confused, Japanese tree lilac and Japanese tree peony. What's the difference?
Okay, very, very significant, Mark, and I'm glad you asked. Tree peony is a kind of top out at probably 6 feet tall. It is a peony. It has a flower, generally speaking, 6 or so inches wide, comes in various colors and so on. Now, peony is called, generally, a peony is a herbaceous perennial. They come up, do their thing just recently. They die down in the fall after the first several freezes, and you can cut them off clear to ground. The Japanese tree peony has a woody stem, and it will build on that woody stem over time, let's just say several inches a year. Mine has gone through kind of a miracle. It stands presently just about 5.5 feet tall. It was a 6 foot tall tree, shrub. At one point, probably 5 or 5.5 feet wide. It got into we'll call it a disease situation, and then congestion of the stems at the bottom, and I wasn't being careful with getting the dead cut out of it and so on. So anyhow, it's leaned itself back now to 3 main stems, still 5.5 feet tall. I think I counted several weeks ago, pushing 30 flowers on it. And the beauty of them is that they're soft colors, absolutely deep enough you want to think you could walk into them. However, the flower stands upright. It is at 6 and so inches across, going to collect a lot of water if it rains. In the third day, the petals are starting to weaken a little bit. Anyhow, you put enough water on that, the head tips over, drops dead, and you're back to a green shrub. But it is a tree in name only, not something you'd plant to shade your patio.
Thanks again for listening to our podcast, brought to you by Bonide Products at Bonide.com. Plant Talk Radio offers other podcasts as well, including our daily Your Gardening Question podcast and our weekly Plant Talk Radio, all available on iTunes or your preferred podcast player. If you have a plant suggestion for Fred, send him an email, fred@planttalkradio.com.